Good morning, one and all. Myself Bhavani from Civil Department. Today I am going to explain about floods. Firstly, what is meant by floods means it is nothing but the overflow of water that will submerge the water when it is in dry condition. Means when our overall land will be very dry, at that time these floods can happen, which is meant by the overflow of the water. And mainly this is one of the discipline of the hydrology here. And how these floods can occur means why? Because of the natural and also artificial barriers, these floods can occur. And nearly such as river banks, levees. What is meant by this levee means it is nothing but the man-made barriers just to obstruct the flood water. Okay, just to obstruct the flood water. At that time, what will happen means flood can occur when these water levels will rise beyond the capacity. Means beyond the capacity means when there will be so much of rainfall, or where there may be some of the man-made floods also, we can say. Means some of the nearby mountainous regions, these ice jams will be going to happen. At that time, these floods can occur. And mainly where it can be occurred nearby means natural and also artificial barriers. That is nothing but the river banks, levees, dams, and also when there will be heavy rainfall nearer to the dams, and also when heavy rainfall will be there at that area means nearby dams will be almost it reaches its maximum level. Then what will happen after reaching its maximum level? These hydrology people, they have to just release the dam gates so that dam can save itself from that water content. So when people just open that dam gates means almost without any warning, if they just open the dam gates means almost then floods can happen at that area. And also when heavy rainfall will be there, almost at the normal rainfall only, ground will be saturated. But after the heavy rainfall also, after the saturation of the ground, there will be overwhelming of the drainage systems can happen. And next is this flooding can also occur due to the melting of snow and also storm surges, and also by the natural events. Due to these floods, there will be so much damage can be happen to the transportation, properties, and also for the infrastructures, and also displaced people. And mainly this will risk the human safety and also health here. Mainly what are the different types of floods here is 5 types we are having. Coming to the first one, that is river flooding. What is meant by river flood? Means when it is going to occur means when any water level will rise over the top of the river banks, then this river flooding can happen nearby to the rivers or nearby to the stream channels. This river flooding can be happening. And in this one, these river floods can be happen suddenly or slowly also. Why? Because when any river is nearby the coastal areas, like that means sudden river flooding will occur more often. At that time, smaller rivers means these rivers which are having the steep valleys and also that will flow through the length over that impermeable terrains and also dry channels. These river floods can be occurred when that rainfall water will be just to flow from that valleys or that steep valleys that will flow through that area means almost that will occur the river floods here. And also these low rising river floods can be occurred in the larger areas, means where the catchment area is very large here. If the catchment area is very large means automatically that catchment area can be just so many water can will be stored at that catchment area. Means when rainfall will be heavy in that low rising areas means when this catchment area will be overflow, means excess of water if that will be pass on to this catchment area, means that catchment area will be will be fulfilled with the water. Then what will happen? It will just run off from that area. That's why these river floods can be happen, where the precipitation is very heavy and there will be runoff into the common outlet also. And what causes this river flooding means, first one is heavy rainfall. Means due to the heavy rainfall or prolonged rainfall, there will be much more that these reasons can be cause the river flooding. Why? Because these rivers will swell. After swelling, this river water will get run off to the downward areas. Means when the ground is already saturated, or when the upstream rainfall flows down the downstream here. So when there is heavy rainfall, that river water will flow down through the downstream area from the upstream. So these river flooding can be happen. Next is snow melting. Means rapid melting of the snow also will be occurred. They can be occurred the river flooding also. Why? Because in the for example, we can say summer season. In summer season, what will happen nearby the mountainous region? There, because of that heat, these snow will be melting at the temperature, and after this melting of the snow, these can be formed into the ice to water. Means there will be increase in the river flow, and obviously that can cause the flooding downstream. Means from the upstream to the downstream, there will be flow of the water. And coming to the next one, that is ice jams. Means when in the mountainous region where this snowfall will be heavy, at that time when the climatic conditions will be changes from month to month. Means winter season will be there, summer season will be there. In winter season, almost snow can be we can see the snow in that area. But in summer season, that ice will breaks. Means when this ice will breaks, means almost that will, when that is in breaking condition, these ice can form into the some big boulders type. Okay, these boulders can, we can say as the jamming of the ice. Means when the flowing of the blocks of the ice will be happening, when that is flowing from the upstream to downstream, then these jamming of the ice blocks will be going to happen. That is called as the ice jams. Then at that time only, it can cause water to break up, and there will be the overflow of the river banks. This is the main reason where the mountainous regions will be there. And next one is dam releases. Means without any warning or without any unplanned releases from the dam, unplanned releases of the water from the dam, there will be increase in the water flow in the river. That can also cause the flooding here. Next one is sedimentation. This sediment nothing but what? It is a material which comes from the weathering action or from the erosion. Means that material we can get from the sediments and also for the erosion. Means when any wind, air, water from the wind, air, water, that material will be flown into the river surface. Then what will happen? This build-up of the sediments in the river, this can reduce the capacity. Mainly this can prone to overflow of the water at that river area. Due to the sedimentation also, these river flooding can be happening. Next one is topography. Means because of this topography, what will happen? Means for the occurrence of this river flooding is, when the river flowing through the low-lying areas or the flat areas, these floods can happen. Why? Because when there will be low-lying area or the flat areas, means flowing of the water will be very heavy. Means when very heavy water flow is going through that area, means there will be much more increase in the floods here. Okay, during this high water events from the topography, means because of this low-lying and flat areas also floods can happen. This one is the figure of river flooding here. When the river floods are occurred, what will happen? You can see. This is the low-lying area. River water will be comes through this low-lying area or flat areas. and you can see here overall that the houses uh, that overall water is surrounded these houses. Okay, there will be big impact of these floods also. Why? Because they can just die because of this, or they can lose their properties also because of this flooding. Coming to the next one, that is coastal flooding. This coastal flooding is occurred when the water is inundates the low-lying coastal areas. Means near the seas, oceans or rivers, coastal area will be there. Means this flooding is happen when the water inundates the low-lying coastal areas. Okay, and these coastal floods can result from the sea level rising and also storm surges and also high tides. Because of this, there will be so much damage to the people, human life, properties and also infrastructure also. Next one, what are the causes of this coastal flooding in detail is, first one is storm surges, means when there will be so much high winds and also low atmospheric pressure will be there. Because of this one, from the storms or from the hurricanes or from the tufans, that will push the water towards the water inland. This can cause the coastal flooding. Means any tufans like hurricanes that can happen, means automatically this will give rise to the coastal flooding. Okay, why? Because this will just, these tufans or hurricanes, this will just push the water towards the coastal areas. So that's why coastal flooding can happen easily at that time. And coming to the next one, that is high tides. These high tides nothing but during the spring season. During the spring season, almost high tides can be happen in the hilly regions or nearby the mountainous region also. Because of these tides, this can lead to the higher than or normal tidal levels that may cause the floods in the low-lying areas. Because of the high tides, we can see the coastal flooding nearby the low-lying coastal areas. And coming to the next one, that is sea level rise. Means because of the rising of the sea level due to the climatic conditions, this also can risk the increase in the coastal flooding. Next one is wind-driven waves. In this wind-driven waves, when there will be strong winds will be there. These strong winds, these can generate the large waves that can crash into the shore. Because of the, by this one there will be causing of the erosion and also causing of the flooding here. When any strong winds, means heavy winds will happening, at that time they will just in the ocean only. When these strong winds will be there, means large waves are going to be happen in the that river only. This can rise the coastal flooding here, and this will cause due to the erosion and also flooding here. Coming to the next one, that is erosion and land subsidence. And in this one, natural erosion process or land subsidence process can lower the overall elevation of the coastal areas here. And so because of this elevation, low-lying elevation of this coastal area will just gives rise to this coastal flooding. And coming to the next one, that is tsunamis. For these tsunamis, there will be some very big and also sudden waves is going to happen under the water only. Okay, under the water there will be earthquakes are going to happen at that time. Because of this underwater earthquake, tsunamis can be happened. Okay, these tsunamis can happen under the water due to these earthquakes only. Then because of the tsunamis also, it will give rise to the rapid sudden flooding. Okay, catastrophic nothing but very harmful and dangerous. Means slowly it will come, and within fraction of minutes it will overall destroy that area. Okay, so that's why these tsunamis are very, very dangerous, and this can lead to the flooding also. And coming to the next one, that is a storm surge. And in this storm surge, what is meant by this storm surge means storms. What is meant by storms means it is nothing but the abnormal rise in the sea level that will lead to the occurring of storm here. And because why these storms can happen means because of these storms there will be developing of hurricanes and also tufan in the underwater. Why? Because when storms is going to occur because of this heavy winds, means automatically there will be rising in the hurricanes and also tufans here. Mainly these, of course I already told you, this is because of this strong winds and also low atmospheric pressure only these storms are going to be happen, which will just, these storms, what they will do, they will just push the large amount of water towards the coastal areas. Because of this only flooding is going to happen nearby the coastal areas. In the figure you can see, because of the storms only, means overall that area is already surrounded with the water itself. Okay, these storms are going to be very often considered as the devastating consequences here. And what are the causes of this storm surges? Means mainly wind effect. Means because of the strong winds and very heavy speed winds will going to happen, that will just push the ocean water towards the coastal areas. Okay, that is called as the storm surge here. Coming to the next one, low atmospheric pressure, means low pressure of the storm. This can allow the sea water to rise slightly, means not very fast, slightly sea level will going to be rise at the on the surface of the water only. Then that will leads to the developing of this storm surge. And coming to the next one, that is shoreline topography. Because of the shape and also slope of the coastal area, this can influence the overall impact of storm surge here, where we can see the slopes, or we can see the, means these gradual slope. Some of the overall rivers or oceans, when they are flowing from the upstream to downstream, there will be steep slopes also will be present. Because of the steep slopes also, these storm surges can be very rapidly increasing towards the coastal area here. And next one is tidal cycle. If any storm surges is coincide with this heavy tides, means this can almost cause the heavy storm surges also. This can lead to the severe flooding here. And next one is wave action. And in this wave action, strong waves can be generated by the storms. This will contribute in the rise of the water level, and this will almost cause the erosion and also flooding here. Coming to the next one, that is inland flooding. And in this inland flooding, we can also cause this inland flooding as pluvial flooding, which can be referred to the accumulation of water in the areas which are away from the coastal zones due to the heavy rainfall. Means this flooding can be happened where the water areas, means coastal areas which are very far away from the water level. Okay, and due to the heavy rainfall, this inland flooding can be happen. This flooding can be happened in the cities, rural areas, and also natural landscape. Why? Because nearby the cities or rural area, these rivers or oceans or sea, they cannot be present. Okay, where these cities, rural areas are very much far away from the rivers or oceans also. Means in this inland flooding, why this inland flooding is going to be occurred, means due to the heavy rainfall here. Okay, mainly what are the main causes of this inland flooding is heavy rainfall. Means where there will be very prolonged rainfall, means that will lead to the heavy flooding in the areas where these where the cities or rural areas very far away from the rivers or oceans also. Why? Because when the ground becomes saturated and also drainage systems, this cannot handle that much heavy amount of water. So that's why this flooding can be happening. And coming to the next one, that is topography. In this topography, where the low-lying areas or flat areas and also basins, they will just when from upstream to low stream, they will that river water will be flows down. At that time, if there is any low-lying areas or flat areas, means that will just collect the water easily, and that will give rise to the flooding in that areas. Coming to the next one, that is urbanization, means development of these paved surfaces and also development. This will only reduce the ground's natural ability to absorb the rainwater. Okay, due to not observing the rainwater, this will directly lead to the flooding here. Why? Because if the runoff will not be there in that areas, means of course there will be increasing of the flooding. Floods will be very heavy at that areas. Why? Because if the rainwater, heavy rainfall is going on in that area, means runoff should be there. If runoff will not be there, means there will be occurring of the floods here. Next is dam or levee failures. Means if any dams or levees can be failed at that time, means there will be releasing of the large amount of water which can be flows through the downstream, so that this can cause the floods here. And next one is ice jams, because of the very big ice blocks. When these in the colder climate, almost this ice accumulation in the river can be happen. But in the summer season, what will happen? That ice will be just melting in that climatic conditions. Means ice accumulation in the river. This can also create the blockages that can easily cause the flooding also. Means in summer season also what will happen? That ice is going to be melting and that will cause the floods here. Okay. And next is flash flooding. These flash flooding nothing but very sudden floods. Sudden floods will be going to happen. Very rapidly it is going to happen and very dense it is going to happen in that area. Means within fraction of minutes or hours, heavy rainfall is going to be occurred, and if there is any no runoff at that area, means almost this flash flooding is going to take place in that area only. So that's why it is very dangerous when compared with other floods. It is very dangerous due to its speed and also unpredictability. We cannot predict this flash flooding here. And mainly these flash floodings can be happened in the urban areas and also rural areas. Mainly this will cause very much damage to the human life and also their infrastructure and also their properties also. Here you can see the figure. Means within fraction of minutes only this flooding can be happened. And what are the causes of this flash flooding? Means intense rainfall. Means heavy rainfall is going to be happened at that area, means that will give rise to the rising of the water through the that low-lying areas or flat areas, means that will directly develop the floods here. Okay. Next one is terrain and soil. Means where these steep slopes will be there and any rocky soil will be there. This cannot absorb the water very fast. Then this will contribute to the rapid runoff and also flash flooding. Next one is urbanization. Means where the paved surfaces and development and reduction of the vegetation. Why? Because if urban areas is going to be developed, means almost we have to cut the trees. Means at that time, if you are going to reduce the vegetation in the cities, means that will only prevent the water from being absorbed to the ground. Means if trees will be there, means the trees will absorb the water and they will grow. But without trees, they cannot that ground cannot be saturated easily. Okay, because of the reduction of the vegetation also, and just by the preventing of water from the absorption, this rapid causing of flooding is going to be takes place. Next one is dam or levee failure. Means a sudden failuring of these dams and also levees, means that will just release the large amount of water through the downstream. That will directly cause the flash floods. In Andhra Pradesh in the year 2009, these due to this unwanted, means without any warning, they released the dam water. At that time, near in the Rayalaseema region, floods is occurred at that time. Okay, because of this, without any warning also, they just released the water. Means this is one of the failure. Why? Because if they are going to release the water from the dam, means they have to just warn the low lying area so that they can save themselves from that, they can save from the disaster. Okay, means if without any warning or without any means overall they have to tell the people if they are releasing the water from the dams, means there will be so much damage is going to happen. So in the year 2009 also, in the Andhra Pradesh, in Rayalaseema region, these floods are occurred at that time, means without any warning of that dam water, they released the dam water. So much damage is happened at that time. Okay, and coming to the next one, that is ice jams. Means in the colder region, these broken ice will be just flow down into the water to the downstream. Means at that time when they that ice blockages will be broken, means when the climatic condition will be changing from colder to just hot, hot season, means almost that will break up, that ice blockage is going to be break up. So that's why this can they can cause the flash floods here. And next one is, what are the causes, main causes, natural causes and also man-induced causes we are going to know here. What are the natural causes here? Means due to the heavy rainfall, means due to the very prolonged rainfall, they can cause the rivers and also stream to flow through the upstream to downstream or to overflow also. That will just lead to the floods here. And next one is snow melt. Because of the rapid melting of snow in the spring season, and this can only cause the water flow in this can only increase the water flow of the rivers, and that will cause the floods here. And next one is storm surges. Because of the heavy winds, because of the strong winds, because of the low atmospheric pressure of the tropical storms, these hurricanes and also tufans can occur at that time. What will happen not at that time means they will just these tufans and also hurricanes, they will push the ocean water towards the land. So that's why these, because of the storm surges also, this can cause the floods here. Next one is high tides. Because of this very high tides, or such as spring tides or king tides, these also can cause the flooding in the coastal areas. And also because of the ice dams. In the colder climate, these ice blockages are going because of the change of climatic conditions. Means when the flowing is continuing in that river area, means because of this blockaging of the ice, they are going to back up and overflow can be happened in the river banks here. Due to this ice jams, it is a heavy occurring floods here. And coming to the next one, that is topography, and where there will be low lying areas or steep slopes, these and also flat terrains will be present at that time. This will only prone to the rapid water runoff or the accumulation. So by this topography also floods can be happened. Coming to the next one, that is tsunamis. These tsunamis can be happened when the underwater earthquakes are present, or any volcanic activities happened in the water, or any land, because of this landslides also these flooding can be happened. Okay, when any large waves that can be generated through the landscapes, volcanic eruptions or by the underwater earthquakes, these coastal flooding can be occurred. Coming to the next one, that is human made causes. Means because of the humans, how floods are going to be happen, means due to the first one is urbanization. Means if you are going to develop the cities or develop the overall rural coast, this urban areas, means almost we are going to cut the trees and we are going to just develop the impermeable surfaces, just nothing but concrete, asphalt in these urban areas. So what will happen? That will prevent the absorption of the water when rainfall is going to happen. If any heavy rainfall is happen, means that ground should absorb the water at that time only. Okay, then we can eradicate these floods. But because in the urbanization, because in urban areas, because of the construction of the roads with concrete or construction of the buildings with concrete and construction of roads with asphalt. This will happen. This will prevent the water absorption. Due to this one, there will be quick runoff and also potential flooding is going to be happen. Coming to the next one, that is dam and levee failures. If there will be any man-made dams, it will be there, means almost these man-made dams or man-made levees that can release, if any failures are happen, means these failuring will lead to the release of large volume of water towards the downstream. So by this also floods can happen. Coming to the next one, that is poor drainage systems. Due to the very inadequate and also poor drainage systems, these water have to accumulate the water. This can cause water to accumulate in the urban areas during the heavy rainfall. Means if the drainage system is not at all proper, means these if any heavy rainfall is happen, means they have to just the drainage system have to take that water. If the drainage system is not at all good, means they cannot take the rainfall water, then that will leads to the floods here. Next one is deforestation. Because of the removal of the vegetation, means removal of the trees, small plants, that can easily reduce the land's ability to absorb the water, and that will increase the floods here. Coming to the next one, that is channel modification. Means because of the changing patterns of the rivers and also streams. Why? Because due to the channelizing and also straightening of your rivers, that can disrupt the natural water flow. That can only leads to the floods here. Next one is climatic change. If there is any, climatic change will be very much very high. This is one of the cause which can be happened due to the heavy rainfall. If any heavy rainfall is going to be happen, means any storms is occurred at that time, that will just increase the frequency of and intensity of this rainfall. That will easily leads to the floods here. And next is effects of floods. Means after occurring of the floods, what will happen? Firstly, there will be loss of life and also injuries. Why? Because these floods are this can lead to the drowning and other injuries also. Why? Because so many people, when heavy amount of water that will goes through their areas, means so many people they don't know swimming also. At that time they can drown in that water. So there will be means some of the people they will die, and some of the people they met with the injuries because of these floods. So many life they are going to lose. So many can means injuries can happen to them. If especially these people can got off with the dangerous areas, means where the dangerous areas will be there, where the rivers or oceans are very nearer to them, means almost when floods occur, means it will occur very fast. Means they cannot just predict, means at what time, at what minute or at what hour it will going to be happened. So that's why they cannot predict the water, when that water is going to them or not. So that's why there will be so much they are going to lose their life, and so many are injuries are happened at that time. Coming to the next one, that is displacement. Means these floods can force the people to leave their houses, and that will lead to the temporary or long-term displacement also. Means if any rivers will be nearby river, if any people are living, means they have to leave that area if any floods are going to be happen. Means if nearby dams also, if any people, low-lying areas will be there, no, at that time so many people are living nearby that dams only. At that time if a dam, from the dams, if the heavy rainfall is there, means they have to release the water through the dam gates. Means they will just warn the people, means they have to evacuate their place, means of course they have to displacement their place from one place to another. Okay, so because of this floods also displacement can be happen. Next one is health risk. Means because of this flood water, they can carry different pollutants here. This can include sewage and industrial chemicals, and also other some hazardous materials also. And some of the organic materials they will come, and sometimes some animals they are going to come in that when floods are occurred. Mainly this will directly cause to the waterborne diseases like cholera and malaria, like that. Okay. And next one is mental health impact. Because of this floods trauma, so many people they are experiencing the stress, anxiety, depression also. Means that will impact the people with so many health issues. Okay. Next one is property damage. Means when floods occur, means that will just damage the whole infrastructure of that area. Means that maybe businesses, homes, public buildings, they will directly, these floods can directly damage or destroy that overall properties. Okay, there will be significant loss of the finance here. Coming to the next one, that is infrastructure damage. Means roadways, communication, and bridges, railways, power lines, and also water treatment facilities can be damaged when these floods can be occurred. Means there will be disruption for the transportation and also for the utility services also. And next one is economic loss. Means if there is damage to the property or damage to the infrastructure, means that will lead to the economic activities, and that will lead to the financial loss for individuals, businesses, and also for the government here. Next one is crop and livestock loss. Means mainly these floods can destroy the crops and they can kill the livestock here. Means cows, buffaloes, and also dogs. Means some small animals they can lose their life because of these floods also. Means mainly this can affect the food supply and also farmers' livelihood also. And next one is soil degradation. Because of this flood, they will that flood area is it will lead to the soil erosion. So what will happen if the soil is going to be erosion, means that will reduce the soil fertility and also the agricultural productivity here. And coming to the next one, that is ecosystem disruption. Means flooding can just disrupt the habitats, wildlife, and that will alter the courses of the rivers and also nearby areas. Next one is pollution. Means this flood water, this can carry the pollutants into the rivers, oceans, and also the water bodies that can directly affect the water quality and also for the aquatic life which are living in the underwater. Next one is sedimentations. These flood water can carry sediments towards the rivers and also streams. This can alter the ecosystem and that will damage the infrastructure of the flood areas also. Next one is what are the advantages of these floods. Okay, why? Because just now we only know about the disadvantages of these floods. But what is the main advantages of this? Means soil fertility. Means after floods happening, that will deposit the very nutrient and rich sediments on the flood plains that will enrich the soil and also that will support to the plant growth also. Next one is wetland recharge. Means this flooding, this can replace the wetland here, where it can provide the habitat for animals and also plants here. Next one is groundwater recharge. Means if any rainfall is going to be occur, means heavy rainfall like that, these floods can happen. After the floods is going to be happen, this can overall particulate to the ground and also replenish the aquifers here. Means there will be increase in the amount of groundwater here that will only contribute to the water supply to the people or water supply to the means for the some businesses also. Next one is seed dispersal. In this flood water, this can disperse the seeds of various plant species that will aiding in their propagation in this one. Next one is aquatic habitat, means temporary aquatic habitats that will be created by the floods, means that can be created by floods, support the fishes and also amphibians and also other wildlife here. And next one is improved crop yield, because after the floods are happened, that soil will be very rich in nutrients and that can lead to the high crop yield for the farmers also. Next one is natural flood mitigation. These plains can be absorb the excess amount of flood water that will only reduce the flood risk downstream here. Next one is water quality improvement. Due to the floodplains and due to the wetlands, these filter pollutants is going to be improved and also water quality is going to improve because of this floods only. Next one is cultural and recreational opportunities. Because of the flood water, this will only provide the spaces from the activities such as fishing, boating and also wildlife viewing also. And next one is prevention of floods, means how we are going to prevent this flood. By what we are going to prevent means drainage system, means proper drainage system should be provided to each and every city or rural, for urban areas and also for the rural areas. Okay. And coming to the next one, flood defenses, means we have to just build the levees and also flood walls and also dikes to protect the areas from the river water and also from the coastal flooding also. Next one is rivers and dams, means by constructing the rivers and also dams, this can easily we can manage the river flow and so that we can control the floods also here. Next one is channel modification, means modification of the river channels, nothing but we have to straighten that river area or we have to deepen that one or we have to widening that river area, means that will only increase the flow capacity of the water. Next one is green infrastructure, means here we have to incorporate the natural features, nothing but we have to build the small gardens and small rain gardens here. Next, permeable pavements we can see and wetlands we can just construct. Why? Because to absorb that storm water. Why? Because if they can absorb means we can prevent the floods here. Next one is floodplain management, means we have to restrict to the development of flood areas to reduce the damage risk here. Okay. Next one is zoning regulations, means here we are going to use the zoning laws. Some of the laws will be there, means where we are going to construct the building, where we cannot construct the buildings. Zonal laws we have to study before construction of the buildings here, means whether it is flood areas or not and whether it is earthquake region or not. We have to know everything about that area when we are going for the construction of any type of building. Means after using the zonal laws only, we can easily control the construction and we can know about the land use in that risk prone areas. Next one is setback requirements. Because of the enforcing setback distances from the rivers and also coast areas, means we have to live very far away from the rivers and also coastlines to reduce this impact of flooding on the structures. And next one is riparian buffers. And here we have to preserve the vegetation, means throughout the rivers and streams we have to just preserve the vegetation here, so that this vegetation can absorb the flood water and so that they can reduce the erosion here. Okay. And next one is early warning system, means we have to implement the systems like to alert the low-lying area people or to alert the residents of impending floods, and we have to guide them to safety areas. Okay, so that we have to warn them before these floods are going to be happen. Means at area it is going to start at some area. Means before coming to that area, we have to warn them. We have to evacuate that people also. Next one is emergency preparedness plans. we have to develop and practice the evacuation plans, and we have to emergency response protocols we have to follow, so that we can just save ourselves from these floods. Okay, that's all about the floods, and here are the references book I have referred. You can also see. Thank you everyone.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.